Hey y'all, welcome to SB Designs. In today's video, we are going to be unboxing several Bramble Berry kits. All right, let's get into it. Okay, I'm not gonna open the kits in any specific order. I purchased a variety of kits, anywhere from soap making to, in the case of this first one that we'll do, bath bombs to, a couple different other ones. So we're just gonna get right into it and see what we've got here. I will say, just starting off from the back, I like that the kit is all in one box, right? It's got a really nice picture. You can see, some of the finished product. You can see some of the ingredients that are in there, but it's a great little inspirational photo of what you can expect inside. Nice quality cardboard box. I can open it here. Here we go. Okay, so starting out here, we have the instructions. A really nice picture of the finished product. This right here, this first little thing, tells you everything that comes in the kit. Looks like this particular kit has some labels and things like that. I'm not gonna open this just yet, but these should be all the instructions and supplemental documents that you would need. This particular kit comes with some botanicals, rose petals, and lots of packing material. Whoa, be careful, you don't want to throw away any of your little things. They kind of got them nestled in there. Yep, here we've got, another, almost threw that away. Well, not throw it away. I'm going to reuse the packing material, but I'm just saying, you want to be careful when you're digging it out that you don't accidentally dispose of something that you'll need. It's nice, though, that everything is packaged really well because, the company's they're not driving this stuff down here themselves, right? They're sending it in the mail. So you definitely want everything to arrive in good condition. This right here says this is the mold, disc mold. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, 2-piece mold to make the actual bath bomb. 2-piece mold, like a clamshell kind of thing. They're plastic. It's a pretty good quality plastic, nice and sturdy. It doesn't, bend too much. However, with plastic, if you're not careful with it, it can eventually crack or bend. Right? If plastic bends out of shape, it doesn't want to go back into its original shape. Okay, this here is witch hazel. I didn't open up this little container. These look like oils, like maybe the essential oils or fragrance oils. Lavender 4040, it's an essential oil. From my research, this is like, the really good quality lavender oil, like the 4042. And polysorbate 80 is a preservative, not a preservative. It is an emulsifier. It's what makes it to where when you have colorants in your products, like micas, they'll absorb into the water, not just float on top of the water. This is a thing of gloves, which that's pretty nice to have. We also have in here coconut oil. Pink sea salt, extra fine. The sea salt is something sea salt and coconut oil, those are things you can get at a grocery store. Sodium bicarbonate, that's baking soda. You can also get that at a grocery store. The reason why I chose to purchase these items from Bramble Berry is because I wanted something where I would know that the quality of the item was really, really good. Citric acid. Okay. And I think that's it for the this first kit, the natural bath bomb kit. Those are all the items. So what I'm going to do is all the items from each kit will go back into the box until I'm ready to actually make that project. All right, so we have another bath bomb that we'll go ahead and open here. This is the Rose Gold Bath Bomb Kit. And again, another beautiful picture of the product. You know, presentation has a lot to do with whatever you're doing. And I think that the presentation of these kits is phenomenal. I love having a nice little picture. The other really neat thing too is they've got the name of the kit on the side. I'm sure this is to help them when they're, you know, when they're selecting it from their storage rooms or warehouses or whatever. But for someone like me, where I've purchased several different kits and I'm going to do them, you know, over a period of time, it's nice to have them. I can stack them up on a shelf and then be able to pick out the one that I want quite easily. All right, let's get into this. Again, we've got our ingredients list, instructions, another beautiful photo. The other thing too, I didn't show this in the previous kit because it had some labels covering it up, but I love that there are full color, very clear pictures. The instructions look to be very easy to follow. Clearly you can see step 1, step 2, 3, 4, so forth. That is so important, especially when you're just barely learning how to do something, having really clear instructions. I'm sure we've all tried to put together a piece of furniture where the instructions were not clear, or they didn't have a nice picture, or they didn't have, you know, nice words to support the picture. So this is great that we've got really nice instructions. I love that. Okay, some beautiful rose gold and gold micas. The one thing I am noticing here, you know, micas in a bag, these little powders in a bag, it's going to get caught here on the edge. I'm not too concerned with that. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of waste, you know, as with anything. It's just that's something I'll need to be really careful with. Especially if the kit, once you make the project, if you have anything left over, I might need to store these in a different way other than the bag. I'm sure I'll get mica all over it as I'm trying to do the project. All right, we've got more packing material. Got a little box next to me that I'm putting my packing material in to reuse. All right, so here we've got our essential oil kit, and yep, we've got our another thing of polysorbate 80. Again, that's the emulsifier. So it's not just for micas, but also oil. You know, oil and water don't mix, and as part of the bath bomb, there's probably going to be some sort of oil or butter, and you would want to be able to have that mixed in with your water. So here we've got the rose gold fragrance oil. I'll need to read up on what the notes are in there. It just has the name of the thing. It doesn't tell you the actual fragrance notes in the fragrance oil. All right, let's see here. We got another thing of what I would assume are plastic molds. This is bath bomb mold. So these are going to be like the ones we just looked at that are plastic. Yep. 2-piece plastic molds. 2-piece plastic mold. All right, more witch hazel? Yes, more witch hazel. Another dropper. I forgot to show this in the previous kit. This is a dropper. This is probably for the fragrance oils, just because you're probably just going to use a very little bit of it. Gloves. It's a bath bomb, so we're going to have more sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, citric acid. There are no oils in this one though. This is a little more basic than the one that we just got, that we just opened. This I'm sure that is a basic bath bomb recipe, is just the citric acid and the sodium bicarbonate. The one we just opened had coconut oil with it, and so that probably just adds a little bit more luxurious feel to the bath bomb, amps it up a little bit. So that's kind of nice that I get to, you know, see 2 different recipes, different formulas, and then from there, you know, you can decide what kind of formula you like. And that's what's great about something like the kit, is that you can try out different formulas without committing to, you know, bulk sizes of your raw ingredients. All right, let's get on to the next kit. Okay, the next kit we're gonna do is the Raspberry Donut Bath Bomb Kit. You can see here how cute, super cute little donuts. Now, although this kit is, you know, raspberry themed, with the molds that we're getting in these kits, you know, we can use them for future projects. So it's kind of cool to have like the donut mold, right, that'll come with this kit. We've got a traditional bomb kit, and then, or mold, I should say, and then we have the other mold that came in the first kit that we can use for future projects. So I think that that's pretty cool. Again, a wonderful picture, full color picture of the end product, right? Great inspiration. All right. Again, another great little card with all the information you need, all of your instructions, not your instructions in this first part, but the ingredients in your kit. This right here, this little card, or not little card, the bigger card in there are the instructions, and it's got some really great call outs. It tells us, you know, like for example, difficulty level is beginner, tells you how much time it should take. So what I like about this is that it comes, again, beautiful full color pictures, great instructions, but it's also in this like little baggie, which when you take out your little menu here of what your kit includes, this is a great way to keep the instructions nice and neat. They're printed on a pretty decent cardstock. But I think this is great because, you know, we're dealing with oils and colorants and all the things. And so this is nice, you know, to be able to have that little plastic. I'm sure if you wanted to keep it in even better condition, you could probably have it laminated. But, you know, it's nice to have it in the little plastic bag. All right, so again, we've got micas in a little Ziploc container. This right here, white bursting beads. It's kind of fun, looks like little candy sprinkles. More packing material. Just be careful when you're undoing the packaging that you don't throw away, you know, something important. It's nice that the micas were sitting on top of the packing materials. I think that that helps with the presentation of the kit, but it's also, you know, these are very slick, very thin. So this is something that if it was underneath could easily have gotten disposed of. All right, another thing of witch hazel. Okay, so with these kits, because I got several bath bomb kits, we're seeing some of the same ingredients. Had we purchased just those ingredients in bulk, obviously I wouldn't then have like several little vials of, you know, witch hazel. we would have, you know, a bulk bottle of witch hazel, but the vials are reusable. So that actually doesn't bother me so much that we've got multiple vials, because, you know, witch hazel in this one, but we could put different things once we're done with the witch hazel, I'm sure. You can, you know, clean it out. And then also I'm noticing that the bottle itself, and I'm hoping you can see that, it's got electrical tape wrapped around it, which that's good because this bottle has actually leaked and there's liquid in the cap. So had they not put the little electrical tape around the bottle, the contents in this box would be wet right now, and it's not. So good job on the packaging. We got more citric acid, which is clearly a main ingredient in bath bombs. And sodium bicarbonate, another main ingredient. More packing material. Another thing of gloves. Okay, so here we have soap base. This is a white soap base. So I'm thinking this is probably going to have something to do with the little drizzle. You know, the drizzle, the frosting that's on top. So I don't think that bath bombs actually have soap included, like, as part of the bomb itself. So it must be the little colors on top. Here we've got our essential oil and polysorbate 80 pack. Okay, so again, the polysorbate 80 is what's going to make this stuff, this mica, not just float on the very top of your water in your bathtub. It's going to make it, I don't necessarily know it's going to color your bath water, but at least you won't have little mica flecks floating all around all over you. So there's the polysorbate 80. Okay, it says emulsifier on there. And this is raspberry jam fragrance oil. So in the first kit that we did, we had an essential oil. It was a lavender essential oil. And then in these last two kits, we've gotten fragrance oils. Okay, so here's a dropper. Again, I'm assuming it's for the oils, right? Because see how tiny, like teeny tiny the bottle is? Probably use a dropper to get the stuff out, the fragrance out. And our little donut mold. Okay, this is cool. It's a silicone mold, which I really like that. I love that it's a silicone mold because that's going to hold it really well. You know, like the plastics are great. But plastic, just in my experience over the years, plastic, you know, just tends to lose its memory. You can only like bend and flex plastic so much, and then it breaks or it bends out of shape. Whereas this, you know, this is definitely something that will be in this same condition for years and years and years. I think that's it. All right. That is the raspberry donut kit. All right, the rest of the kits that I ordered in this shipment are all a soap of some sort. So I decided to go ahead and open up the beginner cold process kit. All right, so we can see what's all in there. This is one of the larger boxes, so I'm sure we'll have a few more ingredients than what we've seen thus far. Another beautiful picture on the front. And here we've got our instructions once again, the menu card showing all the ingredients. We've got our instructions with a really pretty picture, wonderful color photos of every step along the way, and then very clear demarcations as to what the next step needs to be. So I love that. Right here on the top, we've got palm oil and coconut oil. Now, if you're wondering about the palm oil, if you've heard rumblings in the internet about palm oil and whether or not it's good for us to use palm oil. Number one, palm oil is everywhere. It's in everything. We can't get away from using palm oil. It's a great product to use. But as with all of our natural resources, we need to use them wisely, of course. But also not be afraid to use the resources that we have here on our earth. I know that Bramble Berry is sourcing their palm oil from a company that does have sustainable practices to make palm oil responsibly. So if that's a concern that you have with Bramble Berry having palm oil as part of their collection, then you can rest assured. All right, so let's get all the little packing bits out of here. And the first thing I pulled out is castor oil. Okay. I've heard that castor oil is a great oil to have in not just, health and beauty products, but just in general. So I'd like to do a little more research to find out about all of the benefits with castor oil, but that's kind of nice that we've got that in there. This right here, olive oil. Okay, so yeah, olive oil. That's something, as I've been doing research, everyone's using olive oil to make their soaps. I love olive oil. I like to cook with olive oil. Okay, we've got another little pouch here. I'm assuming this is going to be some sort of fragrance oil. Yes, apple sage. It sounds nice. Again, they've wrapped it in this electrical tape, which that's amazing that they've done that, because in the kit we just opened, the vial that we had actually opened up. Okay, sodium lactate is an additive. Sodium lactate is a type of salt, if I remember correctly, and it helps to harden your bar. You don't want your soap bar to be, sticking to the side of your silicone mold, so that's what the sodium lactate does. And then here we have in a bag, which I am going to keep in the bag until I'm ready to use. There's a nice big warning there, keep out of reach of children. This is the sodium hydroxide, or lye, as it is more commonly known. You cannot make soap without lye. So this right here, you just want to make sure that you've got it safely out of the reach of children, or anyone who would not be able to understand the importance of proper and safe handling of lye. So again, I'm going to keep it in the bag until I'm ready to use it, just as a good little reminder to me that this is the lye. All right, we got our gloves again. You have to use the gloves. Okay, brand new soap makers, beginners like myself, I think the most important thing that we need to drill into our brain is that you must use gloves when handling lye. Gloves and eye protection. All right. This right here is a silicone mold. Okay, this is what we're going to pour our soap into once all the items have been mixed up. We're going to pour our soap into this. It will then harden in here until it's at a state where we can unmold it and then cut it into bars. Now, I think it's great that we've got a silicone mold here again, because silicone can be reused over and over and over. I have done some research on that these types of molds where it's just the silicone, where they can, lose shape, or they have a tendency to bow under the weight of the soap that's in there. I can see where it is reinforced. It's got like nice thick, like little pieces here to make it more rigid. So we'll just need to see how well this holds up for us. But the nice thing with silicone is that it can make your soap very easy to unmold. And it's because of the silicone mold that we need to have the sodium lactate. okay, so that the soap can actually harden up really well and then unmold easily from our silicone mold. And I think that is it. Those are all the ingredients in the beginner cold process kit. Okay, now this next kit is what I'm most excited to make. This was the very first kit that I watched Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie is the founder and CEO of Bramble Berry. This is like one of the first kits that I watched her make on her YouTube channel, Bramble Berry's YouTube channel, and I just fell in love with that. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And when I was doing research as to, you know, what I needed to do to start learning how to make soap, I knew that this was one of the things that I wanted to start with. So this is the Wild Rose Cold Process Soap Kit. All right, let's get into it. First of all, again, nice, beautiful picture. We can see the top of the soap here in this case. And then in the box, we can see a cutaway. A side picture of the soap. We can also see the top. If you follow the instructions provided in there, that's what your soap could look like. Now, as a beginner, I know that my soap more than likely is not going to be as beautiful, right? But it's nice to see what the finished product should look like, because that in and of itself is really good training for you, right? You have something, you know what to kind of work toward. This is another reason why I went with Bramble Berry for these kits, because of the pictures, but also the videos that are on the Bramble Berry YouTube channel where you can see somebody making the kit. Again, you can kind of know what to expect. In this kit, we've still got our menu card, our instructions, and then we've got labels, it looks like. Yeah, I can tell this is label paper, so, you know, we'll see how we'll be able to label our soaps once we're done making them. Okay, so here we've got a big bag of the Lots of Lather Quick Mix. Now, I didn't talk about why some of the items were coming in these bags and why some of the items were in like a bottle. The nice thing with these bags is they're microwavable. And if you don't want to microwave them, you don't have to. You can put them in a water bath to heat them up. Or not a water bath, a double boiler, I think would be the actual term. So you're not gonna like stick this directly into a pot, right? You would put a bowl on top of a pot of boiling water and then place this inside that bowl, and it could heat up or whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna do the microwave because that's what the bag is designed for. It's got a really nice little spout there. You can, you know, open the spout, pour it out. The other thing too, with these bags like this is if you don't end up using all of the ingredients, it's just the oils and the butters in here. So you could, you know, if you don't end up using it, cap it back up and then reheat them. From my understanding of the instructions, I'll just have to double check, but I believe you can reheat items in this bag. The other thing too is I like that the bags are flat. You know, when you're thinking about storing, and certainly for them, I'm sure packaging, it's easier to ship things that are flat probably, you know, they just ship a little better. I'm not concerned about, you know, things breaking or getting punctured and spilling out all over the place. So I like this, the way they've done this. It's really convenient. All right, so in here again, in the bright orange bag, we've got another sodium hydroxide lye container. Now, this right here is way more lye than you're going to need to have, need to use for the kit, for the project. However, there may be something that, you know, this is probably the smallest size container. I can't remember right now from their website, the different size containers. So with these kits, there are things that you're going to have left over. In the case of this one, for example, a whole bunch of lye. Like, I probably wouldn't even need to open this bottle of lye from the other bottle of lye I've already got, right? In the bath bomb kits that we opened a few minutes ago, clearly the molds are reusable. So that's a really nice thing with the kit. Not only are you getting all the ingredients you need to make your project, you are also getting some ingredients where you'll be able to use and apply for other projects, or, you know, store for a future use at some other point. All right, so again, the lye I'm going to keep in the orange bag just to remind myself that this is the lye. Got another thing of the pink rose petals. I believe in the other kit I had the red rose petals. I can't quite remember. One thing I noticed is that, so the top of the things were really pretty. And then you can see here though where the petals have gotten crushed, which is still fine. They're still pretty. But that's just something to kind of be aware of. You know, when you're getting the botanicals shipped in these little bags, that you will have some that are crushed. Also, y'all, don't mind my nails. Listen, I work in a warehouse and it's been really busy. We've had a ton of work here going into the new year. It's January right now when I'm filming this. And my hands are just shot. My nails are shot. I need to like manicure them. So y'all just never mind the nails, okay? They look terrible, I know. All right, moving right along. We've got Rose Pearl Mica. It's a beautiful color. I love it. It is pearlized. The name is quite fitting. It is a rose color and it is pearlized and gorgeous. And I'm really looking forward to making something with this. It's so pretty. I love it. It's almost like a Barbie pink. Okay, so I know this is my fragrant oil for two reasons. All of my fragrant oils or essential oils so far have come in an amber glass jar. I'm sure that the amber is there to protect the oil itself. Fragrance oils, essential oils, these kinds of things are pretty volatile. In that, when I say volatile, I mean that their fragrance are, you know, they're sensitive to light more than likely. So having it in the amber jar probably protects the oil from any kind of UV damage. And then the glass is probably because you don't want anything that could interact with the oil and like the chemical properties of the oil. Glass is what you would call inert, meaning that it doesn't react with other things. So that's why I'm assuming they put that in the oils in an amber, a dark colored glass jar. Also, again, they have wrapped the top with electrical tape, which again, I think is a great idea because I already saw something that was spilled. It didn't get in my box because the tape was protecting it. So great job there. The other reason how I knew this was a fragrance or an essential oil is that it came wrapped up in the bubble wrap. Okay, nothing else has been protected like the essential oils. Okay, number one, they're in a glass jar, so yeah, you would need to make sure that you've got the bubble wrap. Okay, but it was also a really good thing. I kind of knew to look out for it, right? In the first box that I opened, I almost threw away the little packet because it was kind of mixed up with the packaging, these little paper shreds. But now that I know that that's, you know, the essential oils are wrapped up in the little bubble wrap, I'm kind of like looking out for it now. Okay. In here we have a larger bottle of sodium lactate. In one of the bath bomb kits, I don't remember if it was the bath bomb kit or if it was the cold process beginner soap kit, we had a bottle of sodium lactate. This is again is to help us unmold the bars from our silicone mold, and it also makes for a stronger bar. Not stronger, harder. Okay, gloves again. Every kit has had gloves in it, which I think is great. The only thing I could see with that is, you know, we don't all wear the same size, right? So hopefully the gloves fit me. And we have a second Bramble Berry mold. It's exactly the same soap mold as the one that we have before. The great thing with this is once I kind of get my feet under me with making soap, I now have 2 molds. I can make 2 batches of soap at once or a double batch of soap. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. Okay, and those are all of the items in the Wild Rose Cold Process Soap Kit. All right, our next kit is the Swirled Heart Soap Kit. Another beautiful picture of the project. Okay, our menu card and instructions. Again, as per usual, here we've got a beautiful, beautiful picture. Okay, so in every other kit that we have opened so far, this side of the instruction card was behind the menu card. So we weren't able to see this really. So here's what I like about this, the other side of the instruction card. It tells us our difficulty level, how much time we should have dedicated to complete the kit, what the kit will yield. We have our actual recipe. So if we wanted to recreate the kit in the future, we could then just, you know, buy the raw ingredients. You've still got things like the mold, for example, and the recipe card and everything that would hold over from from the kit. But you can now just buy the raw ingredients. And then we've got the tools that we are going to need to complete the kit. So in here, some of the tools are provided, some are not. Okay, so that's something where well, yeah, some of these things are not, like, I know they're not going to be including, yeah, so here's little asterisks. They tell you, like, not included in the kit. So you would need to make sure that you had those things extra, right? Which that's great because clearly they couldn't put everything in this one little tiny baby kit, right? You're not going to put like a cutting board, for example, in here. So anyway, that's pretty cool that they just tell you everything you need to have. All right. So on the top of the thing here, we have a color block, magenta color block. All right. That's our pigment for our soap. Get out some of these little paper shreds. I know some people get annoyed with packaging. You guys, I don't. Like, again, I know we want to be responsible and, you know, sustainable and stuff, but I mean, there's no other way to get items safely to the consumer. You know, everything has packaging, and I'm not all offended by the packaging that they've used here. I think it's an appropriate amount for what's in the box. I think that whoever they've got packing the box did a great job. Everything fits really well. The packaging works really well. It's all very neat and tidy, and I love it. So I immediately went for my little pouch, which I knew would contain my fragrance oil. Yes, pink mimosa fragrance oil. I'm not a drinker, so I don't know what a mimosa sound or tastes like, but it sure does sound pretty. And pink is my favorite color, so. All right, let's continue on with our little paper shreds here. Just making sure I'm not picking up any ingredients. Let's see here. We have 99% isopropyl alcohol. Okay, I know why we have this in here. This is because we want to make sure with melt and pour. Melt and pour is soap that's kind of it's already soap. You just melt it and you pour it. But what ends up happening is you end up getting little bubbles on top when you pour it. And so you would use the isopropyl alcohol, spritz the top, and it pops the bubbles. The alcohol has other uses. in soap making as well. It's what you would use to, you know, sanitize your equipment and your surfaces and things like that. So it's not just for spritzing bubbles, but that is why I believe it's included in this kit. All right, here we have our Melt and Pour soap base. Now this is the Shea Butter soap base. In one of our kits, I believe it was the Donut Bath Bomb kit, that one had a soap base in there as well, and we're getting to try a different soap base. So that's pretty cool. And that's the benefit of getting the kits, right? Different kits, you get to try out different ingredients. You get to try out different ingredients for a finished product. Okay, you could obviously try different ingredients just by buying the ingredients by themselves, but then you'd have to still put them into a product. Whereas with the kit, I'm able to see what this Shea Butter soap base is like in a finished product, where the recipe and the ingredients are already curated for me and I don't have to come up with a recipe. So that's why I think the kits are pretty cool, especially for new soap makers like myself, or if maybe you are an experienced soap maker but you just want to try something new. I think that the kit is great because, again, you're not having to invest too much in raw materials. And like, what if you don't end up liking, you know, whatever, like what if you don't end up liking the Shea Butter base? Well, you didn't commit, you know, a ton of money and resources into something that didn't end up working for you. All right, let's see what else is in here. Okay, see another mold. I love it. I love it. A beautiful soap mold, silicone. This is very similar to our donut mold. It's a heart mold. I like that we get to make 6 at a time. The donut one was quite literally just 4. I kind of sort of wish that the donut one was a little bit bigger, because, you know, if we're going to make a batch of something, like, I want to be able to make more than, you know, just, you know, 1 or 2. And although 4 is a good number, I like that we're able to make 6 at a time. I just think that that's cool. The other reason why I think it would have been nice if the donut mold made 6, or if it was at least the size, is because, you know, when I think about storing items, like, it's so much better and easier to store if things are a similar size. The donut mold is literally like, if you cut this part off here, if you cut that off, the donut mold is like this size, square. So, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I'm just thinking, you know, for my own purposes, storing it would have been nice if they were all the same size. But, you know, as you continue to add to your collection, like, I'm sure I'll have more molds that are not necessarily Bramble Berry molds, or be different brands. And so they're going to be different sizes anyway. So that's not really an issue. I'm just making a comment about the difference in the molds. All right. And I believe that is the end. Yep. That's the last of what we had in this kit. So just to kind of bring this back here, again, under the tools, the only tool that was supplied for us is the heart mold. Actually, no, the heart mold and then the spray bottle with alcohol. Those 2 things were supplied to us in the kit. Everything else, 2 medium heat safe containers, spoons, cutting board, knife, thermometer, all these other things were not included. Okay, so you're going to need to have those things in order to make this kit. All right. Okay, so those are all the items in the Swirled Heart Soap Kit. All right, up next is the Cashmere Melt and Pour Soap Kit. Another beautiful picture, an inspirational quote, good branding, all the things. Okay, so in here we can see We've got our menu card and our recipe card again, but this time we can see the other side of the menu card. So here they're just talking about more inspiration. It looks like they're maybe either telling you what you can add, what you can do with the leftovers in your kit, or maybe other kits that might go along or be similar to what you've purchased. And then our recipe card in there with our beautiful product. I mean, again, presentation has a lot to do with it. As a new soap maker, I know that my soap probably won't look like this, but I have something to strive for. I have something to get me excited, and that's really, really great. Beautiful instructions with really nice color pictures. The other thing too is every kit that I purchase, I try to make sure that there was an accompanying video. I believe all the kits may have a video with them, but I certainly tried to make sure that there was a video with each of these kits. And I also got 2 other projects that weren't part of a kit per se, but same thing, I tried to make sure there was at least a video available for reference. Okay, so here we've got pumpkin mica powder. This says botanical on it. Or sorry, it's not a mica, it's a pumpkin powder, a botanical pumpkin powder. So this has got to be actual, like, legit pumpkin. So that's pretty cool. I like pumpkins. I wonder if that might add some color, maybe a little bit of color to the finished products, because I can see in the inspirational photo, the glamour shot of the photo, where there is some like yellow splotches. Splotch is a bad word, but the color isn't like 100% yellow. I can just see yellow in some areas. So maybe the pumpkin powder goes in the mold first, and then we put the soap on top, the melt and pour, probably. I'm just guessing right now at this point, but the cool thing is, with these wonderful instructions and the instructional video, I won't have to guess when I actually make this soap, because I'll know exactly what to do. And it's the middle of January right now when I'm filming this, and it's really, really cold. So yes, I'm wearing a big, huge, giant, oversized sweater. Don't mind the sleeves. Don't mind the sleeves or the nails. Okay, my eyes have gone directly to my little pouch here. I know these are going to be my fragrance oils. Okay, this is Cashmere fragrance oil. There are some notes. There are some notes in here on this jar, this vial. It does tell you how it performs in cold process soap. It says that it discolors to a dark brown in CP cold process, and that it accelerates in cold process soap. It also tells us our shelf life is good. It's best within 1 to 2 years. It tells us that this is a trial size. This size right here is a trial size of the Cashmere fragrance oil. So that's very interesting. Now, this kit is melt and pour. So since it says it discolors to dark brown in cold process, okay, I would assume that it does not discolor in melt and pour. It must have something to do with the actual saponification process that actually makes soap. Since melt and pour is already soap, that may be the reason why this oil doesn't discolor in melt and pour. I'm not sure, but that's what I would assume. I'd have to do research to like make sure that that's the reason why. But I think that that's really cool that they've got the notes on there. I would assume that all of the fragrance oils have similar notes. I've not been reading the notes. I've just been, looking at the actual, just pulling out the product. I will definitely read the notes though when I go to make the project. I think that's good. It's right on the bottle because, you know, someone like me, again, brand new, I'm not going to know all the notes. And I know on their website, Bramble Berry does have all the testing for all of their fragrance oils, and notes on the fragrance oil and how it performs and what kinds of products it can be used in. But it's nice to have those notes directly on the bottle. Whether you're new like me and you're just learning about the product, or maybe you're an experienced soap maker and you've got a lot of fragrance oils, you couldn't possibly remember everything, right? It's nice to have it on the bottle. I don't have to reference any other notes. When I take the bottle, I can see the notes. I like that. Let's see what else is in our little treasure pouch here. Okay, we have liquid silk additive. This is very interesting. It does tell me the usage rate for soap. It says it gives me the usage rate in soap and lotion. It gives me the shelf life. Very interesting. Liquid silk. Silk is a very luxurious fabric, right? A very luxurious material. It kind of goes right along with the whole cashmere thing, right? All about the luxury there. So that's kind of nice. Oh, I have another vial of the cashmere fragrance oil. So we've got in total here, I can't see how much we have. It doesn't have an ounce on there. I don't know how much is in there. But we've got two vials for this particular project. All right. Now, I don't know if that's because maybe the project is made for more than one batch, right? We'll get into it once we'll know once we read the instructions. So I'm just surprised that we have two vials of something like that. Okay. So here we've got goat milk soap base. So this is our third type of melt and pour soap. We had it was just soap base in the donut mold, the donut bath bomb kit. We had, I can't remember right now. Oh, it was a shea butter in the heart kit, I believe. And now we've got goat's milk melt and pour soap. Again, another reason, right? The kits are cool. You get to try different types of products, different types of ingredients. So I've got a second goat milk melt and pour and a third goat milk melt and pour soap base. All right, the last item. Yep, the last item in here is another silicone mold. I'm gonna go out on a limb and just go ahead and say that this is gonna make more than just the 6 things of soap, because this right here, melt and pour, this soap is soap. I could cut off a chunk of this and use it. It's full-on soap. It doesn't have, you know, a fragrance, right? Because we've got the fragrance in there, but whatever. Like, you could legit cut this up and use it as soap. And just looking at the size of the little cavities in there, you know, I'm going to say that one of these will probably fill 3 to 4 of these cavities. And they gave us 3 of those things. So that's kind of cool that this particular kit, just looking at the ingredients I've got, I'm sure we're going to be able to get several little batches of the soap. Several batches of 6 soap. That's kind of nice. I like that. And I think, yep, I think that's it. Also, just a reminder, on our little cards, oh, right here. So here it says it yields 12 bars of soap, 6 per batch. So yeah, you know, we get 2 batches, hence the reason for the 2 vials of fragrance oil, 1 for each batch, I'm assuming. All right, very cool. Those are all the ingredients in our Cashmere Melt and Pour soap. Okay, so here's another kit that I was really excited to try. Just like the Wild Rose soap kit, I had seen this video, Anne-Marie making this soap, and I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, I would really love to get into soap making. And so as I was doing research to actually begin to pursue this passion and this desire, this was one of the kits that I wanted to try. I knew that for sure. So let's get into it. This is the Berry Swirl soap kit. I love the colors. Another beautiful shot of the finished product there. All right, so we've come to expect this. We've got our menu card. We have our recipe card. Great photos. Color blocks. So this is a melt and pour kit. I know it's a melt and pour kit for a couple of reasons. I can tell by the picture that it's melt and pour soap. That translucent kind of see-through looking thing, that you wouldn't get that with cold process. That lets me know it's melt and pour. But also these color blocks here. I don't know all about, you know, melt and pour and like the best way to color it. But definitely we've only seen these color blocks in the melt and pour kits. Okay. Beautiful colors, really pretty. Mauvey, purpley kind of a color. Very Berry Swirl, okay? Oh, you know what? I didn't even say the color name. This is Blush Color Block Colorant. And this one here is Blackberry Color Block Colorant. The other thing too, just as with the fragrance oils, we've got little notes about the use. It says for use in melt and pour soap. Okay, it doesn't give us any other other products that it could be used in. It says specifically for use in melt and pour soap. We also have in there on here our shelf life. All right. So I have a box next to me where I'm putting the crinkled paper, and it's almost full, y'all. Almost full to the top, to the tippy tip top. Okay, so isopropyl alcohol. Again, this should be for spritzing the bubbles off the top of our soaps as we pour them into their little molds. I've looked for my little treasure packet here. So it's going to have our fragrance oil. I know it's our fragrance oil because it's wrapped up in the baggie, but also because it's in an amber glass jar. This is Bramble Berry fragrance oil. So this fragrance, I don't know if the fragrance inspired the name of the company or if the company developed a fragrance oil for their brand. But regardless, it is Bramble Berry fragrance oil, again with our notes on how it performs in cold processed soap. It doesn't tell me about how it performs in anything else, just notes on cold processed soap. If you wanted to see the notes on how it performed in other products, you would need to reference the website where on this, when you look at the page for that specific fragrance oil or essential oil or whatever, you would then be able to see all the notes on how it performs in various products. Okay, I will say, if you are sensitive, like with like allergies and things like that, I have gotten choked up a little bit from what I would assume is just like the cardboard dust, because there is a very light layer of cardboard dust. I don't know that you'll be able to see it because I I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't have the right setup for any of this stuff, but there is a very light layer of cardboard dust on all the products from the paper. So if you're sensitive to it, I'm not sensitive, but I've opened up several kits and I've gotten choked up a little bit from the dust. So if you're sensitive, just kind of be aware of that. Because there is a lot of cardboard and that little dust is kind of everywhere. Okay, so either wear a dust mask or maybe have someone take out the ingredients for you and just, you know, set aside this crinkle paper. All right, so here we've got another type of the melt and pour soap base to try. We've got the clear melt and pour soap base. And we've seen this before. We already have one block of this soap base. We got this in the donut bath bomb kit. So, you know, depending on the yields, how much we use between the donut kit and this kit, we might have some extra. Maybe we'll be able to make a, you know, a couple more of the donut or a couple more of these little hexagonal soaps because we've got 2 of this basic melt and pour soap. All right, and then we have a soap mold kit here. It's hexagonal soap mold kit. This is the same size or a similar size. I think it's probably the same size as our donut kit. It's square shaped, okay? Here, you know, this is nitpicking, right? This isn't really a big issue, but I kind of wish all the molds were either 4 or 6 because wouldn't it be kind of cool to be able to go back and forth, right? But again, it's not really a big issue. That's very nitpicking. This is a really, I think, I mean, to me, it seems like a really nice high quality kit, a nice high quality mold. I'm pretty excited about it. I can't tell, especially since I've already packaged up the other molds. I don't know if they're all the same, like, you know, thickness, if they all end up holding the same amount. It would be kind of cool if, you know, these kinds of molds, if all of the cavities held the same amount of ingredients, like the same capacity. That'd be really interesting as I do more research and kind of dive more into the kits and start doing some of these projects. It'd be interesting to see if they're all the same size or not. All right, I think that is it for the Berry Swirl soap kit. Now, one thing that I'm noticing, in the first couple of kits that we did, those were bath bomb kits, and they had droppers in them, little pipette droppers. All these other kits don't have that. And I originally thought that the pipette droppers may have been, again, I haven't read the instructions, right? And I've watched the videos for all of these, but I can't remember because there's too many kits. So I had originally said that I thought that maybe the little dropper thing was for the fragrance oils. But none of the other kits have included the droppers. So it must not be for the fragrance oil. It must be for the polysorbate 80, which is the only, it's one of the only items that we had in those soap kits, sorry, not soap kits, the bath bomb kits. So I just kind of wanted to, you know, throw that out there that the droppers, I said possibly for the fragrance oils or essential oils. I don't think that now. I think that they're probably for another ingredient that was in with the bath bombs. But again, I haven't actually gone through my instructions for any of these kits yet. I have not, you know, actually made any of the kits yet. So any comments that I'm making about the ingredients and their use is right now me just guessing. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there and clear that up because I don't want someone to be misinformed by anything I'm saying. I'm just, as we're opening, you know, sharing my own thoughts about the kits. All right, so let's move on to our next kit. Okay, here's another kit that I really liked. However, I did not buy the kit out of excitement for the final product. Unlike the Berry Swirl one that we just opened and the Wild Rose kit that we opened earlier, those kits, I had seen them being made, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to make that soap one day. It's beautiful. I love it. I really want to do it. This kit, although I think it's beautiful, and although I love wildflowers, flowers in general, this kit, I'll be quite honest, I got because of the mold. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to have one hexagonal mold, why not have two? Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. I'm telling you, those little cardboard things, the paper things, they're pushing up a lot of cardboard dust. But I'm opening several kits. If you got one kit, I don't think you'd really be too bothered by it. It's just I'm opening up a lot of kits, and these little things do have, like, you know, cardboard dust, paper dust. Anyway, I said if I'm going to have one hexagonal mold, it'd be kind of nice to just go ahead and have another one, because you can only do 4 soaps at a time, and I really want to be able to make more than just 4 at a time. I want to be able to make like a decent sized batch. So that was one of the main reasons why I went ahead and went with this kit. Although I think it's beautiful, again, my primary focus was the mold. And you could say, well, you know, why didn't you just buy a second mold? Well, I could have done that. However, there's value in the kit in that I get all the ingredients pre-portioned. I get to try different techniques. I get to try different ingredients and still have the mold at the end of it. So for me, getting the mold and the kit and the experience and the training that all comes together with the kit was a good reason to go ahead and go with this, even though it wasn't like one of the ones I was really, really excited to make. All right, let's get into it. Okay, we've got, again, our menu card, our recipe card, our beautiful instructions. Really great botanicals here. Marigold calendula, pink cornflower, and blue cornflower. They're beautiful. They look pretty right on top there. Let's take a look at the underside. These don't seem to have, I mean, this one's got a little bit of the shredding. I just noticed, yeah, see this one here, it's kind of hard to tell, but wherever, so like the top of the botanicals look a little nicer than the underside. But you know, honestly, when you put it on, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. Excuse me. All right, let's get into this kit. I'm just going to make sure as I pull out my little shreds here that I'm careful to not throw away any ingredients. The other thing too is, remember, you've got the menu card in there that tells you, I'm calling it a menu card. I don't know what the official term is. To me, it's a menu. But that tells you everything that's supposed to be in the kit. So, you know, you can reference that and make sure you've got everything that you need. All right, first thing I'm seeing here is isopropyl alcohol. I can tell that a little bit spilled. I don't know if that spilled in shipping or if that happened at the factory. I don't see any drips. Or not factory, warehouse. I don't see any drips right now. I don't see any liquid in the top of the vial like we saw with one of our witch hazels. So that probably came like that. Or they probably sent it to us like that. That's fine. All right, we know what this is. This is going to be our essential oil or fragrance oil. All right, this is Wildflower Breeze fragrance oil. Wildflower Breeze fragrance oil. Okay, here we've got another clear soap base, melt and pour soap base. We've seen this one before in the Berry Swirl. So we've got the clear one again. And we have the Shea butter. So this is really neat. This is neat in that we get to see how two different types of soap, melt and pour soaps work together. The Shea butter and then this basic one. Okay, and the second hexagonal silicone mold. I believe that is it for the Wildflower Shea soap kit. Okay, y'all, we've almost made it through all of the kits, the initial kits that I ordered. We've got 2 left, including this one here, and they're both pretty large boxes, pretty large kits. So I'm excited to see what's all included in here. This is the pink salt soap kit. Again, another beautiful glamour shot of the finished product. They're also showing us some of the raw ingredients. All right, let's see here. We've got our menu card, our recipe card. Again, beautiful pictures. We've got the Lots of Lather Quick Mix. We have received the Lots of Lather Quick Mix in another kit. We got this in the cold process, the beginner's cold process kit. Lots of Lather. Lots of Lather must be kind of like their main quick mix. They've got several different quick mixes. I mean, for everything from soaps to lotions, all the things. But I'm probably going to go out on a limb and say that this is probably their main one that they have, because they're including it in their kit, right? In 2 different kits, we've got the same soap mix. Whereas what we saw with the melt and pour, different kits had different melt and pours, right? So that's great that we've got this one in here. I'd be interested to see, if we ordered any other soap, like bigger soap kits like this, what the quick mix is in there. Okay. All right, more of our little paper shreds. The great thing with, something like this is it's easy to store and reuse for other things, right? Okay, we've got a little bag here of the pink sea salt extra coarse. It's very pretty. It almost looks like rose quartz, but it's salt. It's like Himalayan pink salt. There's not very many pieces. It's 1 ounce net weight. There's not very many pieces. Also, the pieces are not all a similar size. For example, this one here, really, really big piece. This one is a smaller piece. So like if I was going to make I am going to make a soap. So when I make the soap, I probably want to put like 2 of those pieces in there for this 1 piece. Also, I don't know that this has any actual quality. Like, what is it going to do to this? Is it just decorative? It probably doesn't do anything in the soap. So then as a consumer, when I'm using the soap, are these just going to fall off? That's interesting. That'd be interesting to know, right? Is this just purely decorative? Because in that case, I almost have half a mind to grind it up and actually use it inside the soap, where you'll be getting like actual use out of it instead of just, sprinkled on the top as decoration that just falls off. and it's such a big chunk of salt, like it's not going to dissolve and wash away. I mean, eventually it'll wash away, right? So that's just kind of where I'm at. Anyway, it's included. It's part of the kit. It's part of the finished product. I just don't know that this is something that I would include in future products that I make for my own company, right? All right. Oh, I'm going to go straight for my little treasure pouch. Again, I know this is going to be my fragrance oil. Yes. This is sea salt and lily fragrance oil. Now, this is interesting in that this is a much larger vial than the trial vials that we've had before. So I'm interested to see, like, why such a difference in the fragrance oils, right? One kit has like a tiny little vial and then this one's got a big one. Is it because we're going to make more of the individual units, right? Like more of whatever. Or is it because maybe the salt requires more fragrance? That'll be a good thing for me to research, right? They've given us a different size of fragrance oil for a reason. Okay, so here we've got a thing of gloves. We haven't seen gloves for a while. And I think that's because we've been working with melt and pour soap. Melt and pour soap, again, doesn't have, like, you don't need to make a lye solution because it's already soap. It's 100% fully saponified. You don't need to have lye. So the gloves must be in here because it's a cold process soap requiring us to mix up a lye solution. And sure enough, here we've got a, our lye. It's in a orange bag. I'm hesitating because this feels heavier than the other bottles that we've gotten. I believe this is a larger bottle of lye than what we've received so far. Also, between all the melt and pour kits, we've got way more lye. I'm sure we have more lye than I'm going to need for these kits, right? For the initial making of the kit, I can probably make all the melt and pour soaps in these various kits with just this one bottle container of lye. So that's good that we've got extra products. I actually like that. We've got extra raw materials. That to me is a good return on, the investment in the kit. So here we have our pink sea salt medium. So we have received between all of our kits a fine, a medium, and a coarse. There's probably, I would assume that there is a step in between medium and coarse, probably a large. Okay. But I don't know. I'd have to double check their website. But what's cool about it, again, here's the benefit of doing various kits, is you get to try different ingredients, right? You get to see how they work. Now, I'll be interested to see when we actually do the kit, if we use the medium as part of the actual salt bar itself, or if that's just a decorative topping. It seems to me with the amount that they've given us that this is actually part of the soap itself. Whereas this right here, this little small baggie of it, this is just decoration. Oh, and we have a silicone mold. Okay. A 6-cavity silicone mold. This is going to be a similar size. If it seems like it's a similar overall dimension. as the heart bar, the heart molds that we got. So again, you know, it'd be kind of nice if they were all the same. Right now we have 2 rectangular and 2 square-shaped silicone molds with individual cavities. Okay, and I think that is everything in the, let me get the top back down. That's everything in the pink salt soap kit. All right, let's get into our last kit of this video. Okay, so our final kit that we're gonna open up in this session is the African Black Soap Kit. This was another kit that I was really intrigued by. The African Black Soap, that soap in and of itself has a pretty cool story behind it. So definitely, you know, check it out. We'll see if in the box, if in the kit, if it goes through the story. And then if I remember correctly from when I watched the video of this, not only are we going to see the African Black Soap in here, but we're also going to see some Shea soap. So let's go ahead and get into it. Our last one, again, beautiful glamour shot of the soap. Not only do we get to see in all of these the finished product, some of the boxes have shown the raw ingredients and some have shown some beautiful styling. As with all of our previous kits, we've got a menu card, we've got a recipe card, we've got beautiful color pictures. Again, all of the kits that I have chosen so far have included a video that you can find on Bramble Berry's website and their YouTube channel. So right here on the very, very top, we've got the African Black Soap Quick Mix. So in here, you know, the other soaps that we've seen, the other quick mixes and the oils and things that we've seen and the butters that we've seen have all been a light cream color. They've all been fairly homogeneous, you know, that they're kind of already kind of put together. This one here, the dark coloration that you see there, that is the African soap that is blended in part of Bramble Berry's soap mix. They've included little pieces of the African Black Soap, and that's what all the speckling is. So it's pretty cool. All right, we've got our little paper shreds here. Put those in there. Make sure I didn't take out any important things. All right, so we've got here in our bright orange package, we can see the sodium hydroxide lye packaged in the orange so that nothing spills out. And if it does spill out, it's contained. And then that bright color is a good little reminder to use caution. I'm also going for my little treasure pouch here that's going to contain my fragrance oil. Oh, so here we've got the Lavender 4042 Essential Oil. We've seen this before. The very first kit that we opened had the Lavender 4042 Essential Oil. It was the Natural Balm kit. So the reason why I think that one was, was the only one, if I remember correctly, that said natural on it, is because this is an essential oil, not a fragrance oil. This is a lavender plant, the flowers of a lavender plant or some part of lavender plant that has been distilled, you know, crushed up, boiled up, distilled up, and turned into this beautiful essential oil. So I'm really, really excited to see what this smells like. All right, and then a really nice size. Okay, this is not just a little tiny bitty, itty bitty little trial size. This is a, you know, pretty substantial size. So hopefully we'll be able to make several bars of soap with this amount of essential oil. The other item in our, I'm going to assume before looking at this that this is probably sodium lactate. because this is a not melted pour. This is a cold processed soap that's going to be in a mold. I can tell it's going to be in a mold from the shape of the soap. So let's see if I'm right. This is probably sodium lactate. Oh, I was right. Sodium lactate. This is going to allow us to be able to unmold this melt and pour soap not melt and pour. This cold processed soap very easily. Notice, the melt and pour soaps did not include the sodium lactate, and I believe they just don't need it. Probably, you know, the properties of melt and pour soap being that it's already soap, being that maybe it's, I believe it's glycerin based, it may not need the sodium lactate to help unmold it. All right, I see another little treasure pouch in here, so I'm going for that. See what we got. We've got fractionated coconut oil. This is a natural oil. I do not know. Let's see. I'm thinking the fractionated coconut oil is to anchor, maybe to anchor the essential oil fragrance, possibly. I'd have to read the instructions because I'm not sure. But I know that essential oils tend to be pretty volatile in that they don't, like they can lose their scent easily. Well, I don't know that 100% for sure, but from a little bit of research that I've done, I would assume this has something to do with the essential oil. But y'all, again, I haven't read the instructions. I'm just learning how to make soap. I could be completely wrong on that. This is just me, first thoughts, looking at the ingredients in the kit. Okay, so again, that's fractionated coconut oil. All right, last item in our little treasure pouch here is another vial, and this is patchouli. Okay, patchouli essential oil. Y'all, I have a love-hate relationship with patchouli. I'll just be quite honest. Sometimes I like it, and sometimes I just can't stand it. I don't know. It might be the quality of the oil that I've smelled before. I usually smell it when someone is wearing the oil as a personal fragrance. So maybe, you know, just how much they've used or what kind of medium the oil is in, you know, a lotion versus a straight oil versus what, I don't know, but sometimes I love it and sometimes I hate it. So I'm gonna go with caution. I will proceed with caution with the patchouli. All right, but it's cool that we've got it. Now this is a much smaller version or size. This is a trial size of the patchouli, and then we had a larger size of the lavender 4042. So, all right, let's see what else we got in here. Oh, okay, we've got activated charcoal botanical. This is, let's see, botanical. So, well, I know activated charcoal is, I want to say it's made from coconut. So I guess that's why it's considered a botanical and not an additive. You know, some things have said additive, some things have said botanical. So it's interesting that the charcoal is listed as a botanical. It's got to be because it's from a plant, you know, plant material. Okay, interesting. Oh, we got our gloves. We know that we're going to have gloves because we have lye. This is a good little reminder for us to use the gloves. I just hope the gloves fit. Sometimes with gloves, you know, when they say like one size fits most, my hand, like they don't fit. And then sometimes they're too small and sometimes they're too big. So, I don't know. It's still nice to have everything in the kit though. Okay, yay! So here we've got our mold. This is a 6-cavity mold. I might be wrong, but I feel like it's probably the same size as the other 6-cavity molds, that we've received in our other kits, but it also feels like it might be a little bit smaller. I don't know. I'll have to measure them and see, but it's probably the same size. And then, you know, as with the other ones, I'm interested to know if all the cavities are the same capacity, right? Like, say, for example, I make a soap with the square mold and then I make a soap with the hexagonal mold. Are the soaps going to weigh the same? Like if I used all the same ingredients, right? That'd be interesting. So anyway, great quality. I love the silicone molds. I know that the silicone is going to do really well. You know, I can probably do all kinds of things with these. I know I can do bath bombs because the donut mold is a bath bomb kit and that's a silicone mold. So I know I can do bath bombs in the silicone molds. I know I can do melt and pour. I know because the hexagonal ones are melt and pour. I know I can do cold process because this is a cold process kit. So these silicone ones are really, really great. I'm excited to have these. Okay, and that is it for our African Black Soap Kit. I am going to go ahead and just very quickly take a look at the information in here. And I just want to see if they're including the information on the African Black Soap. They are not. I think that is a missed opportunity for Bramble Berry. Bramble Berry, I'm sure you're not watching this, but I think that if you had, in addition to the kit, if there was a little informational, you know, little postcard or flyer or something about the African Black Soap and your partnership with Shea, I think that would be great because, you know, I know about it because I've gone to your website and I've stalked your website and I love your website and I'm all about the website. And like, you know, I've done my research and I've really thought and poured over the decision as to which kits to get. However, if I was to give this kit as a gift to someone, they may not know all the cool things about this company that you've partnered with. So I think putting in a little infographic in with your other documents would be a nice little addition to this particular kit. All right, y'all, that's it. I'm going to finish boxing up, getting all of my ingredients back into this kit, kind of clear off the table, and then we will wrap up with a few thoughts that I have on all the kits that we've opened so far. Okay, y'all, so we opened up 11 different kits from Bramble Berry today. I hope that you are as excited as I am about these kits, and that you're looking forward to seeing the videos that we'll definitely make as I produce these kits. Now, just a couple thoughts for you. Number one, I love, love, love that the kits come in a very nice contained box. They've got a beautiful glamour shot of the product. There is that little reminder, you know, of what the kit actually is right here on the side. So you've got a really nice little way to keep all of your ingredients contained. What I think is something that you need to be really mindful of is these kits are just the raw ingredients. Okay, you would still need to have other things like your mixing containers and your scale, thermometers, all the things, right, to actually make the soap that you're interested in. These are just the raw ingredients. Now, I wanted to show you the difference between getting a kit versus getting a project. Over here, I have the raw ingredients for 2 projects, but they're not put together in a nice, neat little package. They all came, you know, kind of mixed up in the shipping box. They were shipped very well, packaged very well, but I have to reference the recipe that's on Bramble Berry's website in order to know exactly what all the things go together and how to make the thing. It's not all put together in a little kit, a little box already for me. Now, that's not an issue, okay? I chose to get the project that way. There's a very clear distinction between kits and projects. You know, the reason why I went with the projects is because I was really excited about making, but also I knew that it would be a great stretch assignment for me. Once I get through all the kits and, you know, we follow all the instructions that are there, we've got our hands being held all the way through the process with the kit. Doing a project that isn't pre-measured and pre-organized for us is a great way to then start branching out and really challenging ourselves to actually be soap makers, all right? It's a really great way. We've still got a bit of a safety net though, because all the ingredients were in one little easy little, I could just hit the button and it added all the ingredients for that project into the cart, right? I still didn't have to go and figure out which pieces I needed to put together and all that stuff. It was still very easy to get everything I needed for the kit, or for the project, I should say. So, you know, doing the kits and the project are a great way to start, okay, with someone holding your hand, to then transition to where you have a safety net with the projects, and then, you know, be able to then bounce off from there with your own designs. So I'm really, really looking forward to trying all these kits. Like I said, today was just the unboxing where you can kind of see the contents in the kit. And I will definitely be doing videos in the future of each of these projects. So I hope that you'll join me, especially if there's a kit that you're interested in purchasing and you want to see how it works for a beginner. Definitely take a look for future videos, because I will be making individual videos of not just the kits, but also the projects. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope to see you in the next video.